Juárez. I'm an industrial designer, educator, and co-founder of LERO Studio in El Salvador.
With my partner Leo, we've been exploring what an industrial designer is supposed to do in El Salvador. We've been working with artisans doing products in different materials and processes, crafting spaces and experiences for people to improve their life and improve themselves.
Thank you for joining me today in this space so we can talk about something both personal and urgent: ethics in design. In a country like mine, full of contradictions, challenges, and resilience, designing the right thing often means facing tough questions. So today, I just want to share you a little bit of what ethical design looks like when you're working your ground up in a place like El Salvador, where doing the right thing isn't always clear, but it always matters. Here, ethics isn't just theory, it's daily decision. Designing in El Salvador means navigating through poverty, inequality, insecurity, and it means making decisions where there are no perfect answers. And sometimes we ask ourselves, do we make it cheaper so more people can afford it? Or we aim to have a better quality so it lasts longer? Do we design for what's efficient or for what's dignified?
In one of our projects, the main sponsor wanted to give a lot of computers and create a PC room for the community so the youth can use them. But after some ideation sessions with the kids and the youth, we find out that they just needed some safe spaces to be young and share time with their colleagues. Instead of having a super high-tech space, we were able to redirect the resources available to have a more complete space for the youth to be connected and be themselves.
Because ethical design is not one size fits all. It's deeply rooted in the context of the place you're designing from. At LERO Studio, we work with local artisans and small suppliers, and one thing we've learned is that respect comes first. It's not enough to include them in the conversation of a project. We have to listen, pay fairly, value their craft, and be honest on how we collaborate. We once partnered with a latte woodworker, for example, and what started as a design project commission turned out into a real relationship that even lasted during COVID-19 pandemics until today. Now we're not designing for him, we're designing with him, and that's how ethic design looks like also, letting go of the designer's ego. Co-creation gets thrown around a lot in design, but true co-creation starts when we're able to share the power to take the decisions that matters. In some of our projects, we've had to step back and ask ourselves, is this what the community really needs? Or is it just what we think they need?
For example, in this community in Mexicanos at Condominios Atlanta, it used to be ruled by gang members. So after several years, the gangs were removed from the community, so they opened new spaces for the neighbors. So we designed a 3-day workshop where we discovered their pains and dreams for that space. We let them dream, then we translate their ideas into a more tangible solution, and we let them vote for the best options, like a huge playground for kids where they were able to play basketball without any interruption. They were able to set up their own rules and play against their mates. Then they had some monkey bars, some swings, and sittings for their parents to watch out for their kids.
Being ethical here means knowing when to pause, listen, and rebuild ideas together. It's not about having all the answers. It's about staying open and honest throughout the process. I also teach product design and social innovation at Escuela Mónica Herrera, And I do two powerful things in class with my students. One is to challenge everything in our context, and two is have students write their own ethical code so they can know how to navigate through life taking better decisions. It's not a list of do's and don'ts, but more like a personal reflection. What kind of designer do I want to become? What am I not willing to do even if it pays well? What choices will I be proud of in 10 years, for example? This is a series of codes and values that's gonna help them to take better decisions in the challenges they're gonna face after the class. But we also push something deeper, helping students break their own bubble and get out. Many of them come from safe, privileged spaces, and that's okay. But we challenge them to see beyond that, to notice what others live through, and to use their privilege to serve and connect, not to separate.
The first thing to do is to bring the kids to a different context from their own, a context which is full of challenges and it's so different from what they are used to that it challenges themselves to acknowledge that there's a different reality a few meters away from them. This helps them see things from a completely different perspective of what they are used to, and helps them to become more empathic to different issues in different contexts. During these years, the students are facing a lot of changes in their life. For example, they are getting their first design job, and that's when they are challenged to different things and a lot of questions. And that's when a code of ethics works really fine for them, because they're gonna help them decide depending on the situation, depending if the project is gonna affect them, or it might affect the client, or it might affect another stakeholder, or it might affect the planet, and that's gonna guide them on take more conscious decisions in the future.
Because part of being ethical is caring enough to act, even when it's not comfortable enough. Design isn't just about solving today's problems, it's also about imagining better tomorrow. In some of our work, we ask the communities that we work with, what kind of future would you like to live in? Is that good for you? And how can design help make that happen? Sometimes it leads to simply products, a safer way to cook, a more dignified space. Other times it's just about opening space where people can dream again.
We've been working in vulnerable communities, trying to understand what was the reality in those contexts and how design can help them thrive during the time. The first thing we analyze is that they are on a constant mindset of survival. They need to survive their home, they need to survive the school, and then they need to survive the streets. So that survival mode doesn't allow them to dream. It paralyzes the mindset to create. And the creative state flow only comes when they have the basic needs solved. That's why in each one of our projects, we foster a community vibe in the group, that they feel they belong to a certain group and that they are safe. Because once they are safe, they can start giving options, they can start giving ideas, be more creative, and even challenge the status quo.
And that's ethics too, using design to bring back hope. So designing the right thing isn't about following a checklist. It's about asking the hard questions, listening deeply, and staying accountable to the people we serve. In El Salvador, ethical design, it's a kind of a resistance against apathy, against shortcuts, and against the idea that good enough is good enough. It's a decision we make every day, to care, to do better, and to design with purpose. Thanks for being part of this conversation, and whatever you're designing from, keep asking yourself, what does it mean to design the right thing, here and now?